You've reached call in Mockery.
I just wanted to start out the new year, 2023, with a mea culpa. During our last show, I think Landon and I both forgot to say, we'll talk to you next year.
Oh, yeah. Oh! I wish that we would have said that. I did use that on one person.
And
they didn't quite get it. Oh, they didn't know. It was someone who was going to be off for 3 weeks. Someone at work that took the next 3 weeks off. So I was like, well, I guess I'll see you next year. And they were like, well, see you in 2023. I was like, yep, that's what I just said. That's what I just said.
So when my gym teacher said that to me in kindergarten, and I understood perfectly, am I operating at a higher level than these CIA operatives that you work with? Oh,
Joey, I wasn't supposed to tell you that you worked there. Now I have to skin your head. No. And crack your neck. No. Oh, my knee. That felt good. And then I have to put you in some tight spandex pants. Oh. Put you on my chiropractor table. Crunch you in half. But make sure that the camera's looking mostly at your butt so that I get most views.
Every time I scroll on Facebook.
Hey guys, today on Dr. Adam's Chiropractor, we're going to be talking about how you can get your ankles in shape. So here is my assistant's ass.
It's like, whoa, come on! I'm with my family. I'm scrolling through looking at pornography. My family's sitting all around.
I'm like, how do I use this vibration plate? Whoa! They're going. I'm going.
Well, that's the new year for you. We're not going to in this year. My New Year's resolution is I'm not going to hold back anymore.
Thank you. I think we've come around the bend where we're done being stifled.
I'm not being safe anymore. I'm not going to be stuck in your little Rice Krispie house that you made for me, and it was very nice that you did that. But I'm not going to be stuck in it anymore.
Yes,
you can't.
You're welcome.
You can't invite me over, lock me in the basement, and say you have to stay in the Rice Krispie house anymore. You're not going to do that to me anymore. I'm big brain now.
Yeah.
I'm big brain now, Joey.
My New Year's resolution, no sugar.
Hey, and I'm giving up picking my belly button for Lent. That's something around the time that Lent when Lent comes, which is a religious sort of time frame around Easter, I believe.
Yeah, it is a time frame which is religious,
where you have to give something up for Lent. I always end up saying I'm giving up picking my belly button for Lent.
Yeah, that's funny.
And these are all sorts of jokes that you can use at work if you want to, except I wouldn't.
They're not, but they don't work at work, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, neither
do I.
Hey, you should do what a boss once told me after, well, let's see. So I worked there for like 3 years, and then finally my boss says, hey, you know what? You have to take some training courses. So I go into their little office and do the training course and then come out. And of course, it's about sexual harassment and stuff.
Yes.
Do what my boss told to me all those years ago. Just make sure you know your audience and when you're making jokes about having sex with people.
That's not what the video told me.
Basically, that's it.
Well, if you know that I'm joking when I pinch your ass, it doesn't count.
Just Actually, the first thing that this person did when I came out from the training, they looked at me and said, "So, are we all fired?"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's
And yeah, pretty much.
that's Radio Shack for you.
And we'll miss Cecily.
But we all are going to miss Landon at Radio Shack.
We do the same. What if we just... Okay, I just had an idea for an episode of our little podcast. we redo an episode.
I'm sure we already have at this point.
Because I'm about to tell a story. You told a story about your gym teacher. I want to tell one about mine. We had a guy. This gym teacher was so stupid.
How stupid was he? I'm
about to tell you.
Oh.
Why would you interrupt me for that?
Yes, and I'm sorry.
He on the door as you were leaving gym, everyone was revolting against this guy because he was an idiot. Complete loony. And looking back, of course, he was probably like 26, but he seemed like an old guy who was a jerk.
Yeah.
But he's probably like, I didn't want to teach gym. He doesn't want to be there. We don't want to be there. Anyway, he's an idiot. So on the way, it had gotten to the point where he didn't know how to control anyone in gym. So we did Tony Chestnut for about 30 minutes. Never got to the activity of the day. So we had to do like calisthenics, and then we did Tony Chestnut a bunch, which I think he just liked seeing people bend over to touch their toe.
I would
knees.
think that is the activity of the day.
Do you know Tony Chestnut?
Yeah, Tony Chestnut, nose, eye, dick, butt.
So he had 2 signs on the door as you walk out of gym that you were supposed to touch how you thought you did in class that day. And the top one was like, good job. And the bottom one said, oops. Except it didn't say oops. It said ops, OPPS. And of course, me and my friends, being the very intelligent wiseacres we were, slapped the ops sign every time and said, ops, ops. And then he finally was like, why do you say ops? It's oops. And we're like, oops is OOPS. I'm 6.
How do you make a long O sound? You
Sound
stupid
it
asshole.
out. Sound it out.
And no one else caught that?
No, everyone else was stupid too.
The janitor that's over solving a math problem on the whiteboard doesn't look over and go,
No.
there's something there I need to fix too.
No.
No.
And then one time we did cup stacking. Did you do cup stacking?
Speed cup stacking,
Yeah.
yep. Did you get the aerodynamic ones that had little holes in the bottom?
Well, you had to.
Yeah. Or else you just have...
Yeah. I didn't buy my own set, but my friend did. And he brought them. We had intramurals before school that you could go to. And we went once, and my friend brought his cups, his own set. And I can't remember how it happened, but
He got stuffed in a toilet.
somehow he got kicked out of intramurals. As like a little kid, and he was like, the gym teacher was like, no, you can't be in here. And he sent him outside, out of the school. He said, you can't be roaming the halls. You have to go outside. And this was before, like an hour before school. So we were all like, you can't do that. You can't just send like a 9-year-old outside.
No, because usually when a kid went outside, that was like a code red.
Yeah.
Like
God,
everyone
I
had
wish.
to chase after. I know.
Anyway, those are my gym teacher stories. There's got to be a bunch more, but I can't think of them right now. Maybe someday in the future we can have a longtime friend of the show call in, and he could impart some special gym stories. But for now, we'll stay with those ones.
I had a gym teacher that also had some signs, some inspirational signs on the wall. And one day I said, I took one down and I hid it behind my back, and I came up to him, and he's like, yeah. And I said, hey, you want to see my Bill Engvall impression? And he goes, yeah, sure. And then I handed him the sign, and I said, here's your sign. And that did happen. But you said this guy was loony, which reminds me of something, if I may. I wish I may, I wish I might, I wish I was Elvis Presley tonight.
Have a blue Christmas when they take our Looney Tunes off.
Cicely, I'm so glad that I got to meet you this week. I love you as much as everyone else here, no doubt about it. So, Looney Tunes, HBO has said 9 to the Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm. You're like,
you're gone. You're taking up too much.
9 new seasons?
Mm-hmm. And they say opposite. 9 less seasons. We're erasing them from everyone's memory.
Yeah.
They're taking up our bandwidth. They're taking up the HBO Max
servers
USB stick.
Yeah, we don't have enough room for this stuff.
So I'm reading through some of the I'm scrolling through looking at some of the comments about this, people going, that's right, that's not good.
Not good.
This isn't good. What do they do that for?
Mel
This is
Blanc
not good.
it rolls in his grave
Mm-hmm.
and then does 18 different voices while he's doing it.
Like that.
Yeah.
So the picture for this article was, of course, Bugs Bunny dressed up as Big Fat Opera Woman with the cone breasts.
Yes. Classic.
Okay. So this guy having a little bit of fun comments on this post. Great. Now what am I supposed to crank it to? Mm-hmm. Okay. A little bit of fun.
Yeah, it's funny.
Now what am I supposed to crank it to?
Right.
You know, have Looney Tunes on. So then Eric responds to this comment and he says, ... Pornhub. Oops, you said crank, not yank. LOL. I would like to just take a moment to respond on behalf of this man publicly.
What?
I'm going to respond
On half of this man?
well, that's for what that's what his website was. Now he says, oops, you said crank, not yank. LOL, all caps.
Uh-huh.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
So what did he? So I wonder what he thinks.
What did he think?
He said, "Oh, you said crank, not yank." So what does he think? Now, what am I supposed to crank it to? Means he thought he was like, "Oh, I can take this kind of a different way."
Yeah, he's like
the exact way the guy meant.
He's like, yes, and you could go to crankit.com.
So he's like, "Oh, just having a little bit of fun."
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what you're supposed to crank it to now.
Yeah.
And then no one even just. It's one of those things where sometimes people will respond and be like,
Yeah.
"You idiot."
Yeah.
No, I think people were embarrassed. We're not. Just leave the guy alone.
Yeah, just let it. He's obviously.
Let it alone.
Just let him. Let him go. God. Well, what do you think about that, though? The Looney Tunes have been... I mean, gosh, I don't know. Who cares, right? No, I think we should have access to all that stuff.
Yeah, but...
That's what I pay for.
But is that what you paid for? Because here's the thing. When you didn't have... Before we had all these streaming services on demand...
You couldn't see any of it.
The closest you could get to seeing Looney Tunes was freaking just flinging it between your legs and looking in the mirror backwards. I'm not holding back this year.
That's my impression of Mel Blanc when he stubs his toe.
Whoa, I bet he was floating around the house. Where's my milk?
I love hearing the audio quality of the old Looney Tunes where everything sounds like they just recorded it in a giant open warehouse. You can just hear the echo. And then you find out, oh yeah, it is just one guy in a room. Yeah, what's up, Doc?
You can hear him breathing.
Doing. No, I love that stuff.
No, but I think if, that's why we do need physical media. And you get to keep it.
By the way, you get to keep it.
This is exactly why I have all the Looney Tunes on DVD. Because of this, I knew this was going to happen. I knew Discovery was going to buy HBO.
I knew that David Zaslav would take over HBO and run it into the ground and will be replaced soon, probably, and it will be restored. Mm-hmm. I knew all that was going to happen, but for the next 2 years, while everything's in flux, I will be able to watch seasons 9 through 16 of Looney Tunes.
How much room does that take up?
Nothing. It's like, what, 12 minutes each or something like that? It's
like, what are they getting rid of? Like a 1 terabyte, like a $40 hard drive?
Like, well,
where do you do with that?
And I think they just accidentally, with like you're moving your laptop and it
they
just kind of
it before
it slips out just a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, Jesus!" And then you plug it back in, and it's like, "We need to repair your hard drive." And you're like, "You can do that? You're just going to do that right now?"
And you hit OK. It takes half a second,
and you're like, "Okay, well, you guys led me to believe this was going to be a lot more." Consequential.
Yeah.
When I just yank it out. I'm sorry, crank it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. But what are you saving by getting rid of all this stuff? And also, I'm on the side of everyone that's mad about it. I am, but you weren't watching it. That's why they're taking it off.
You weren't on HBO.
They see the numbers.
Right, here's what I got. What am I going to watch today? All these new things are out.
I'm
going to watch these 1920s Looney Tunes that I grew up on, I guess.
Yeah.
There's reasons, yes. Why aren't they? Everyone's mad about, well, they canceled this show. I get it. Maybe not enough people watched it yet. But you've had time to watch Looney Tunes and let them know you want to watch it. And maybe you've watched it once through, or you're going to go back and do another. Maybe I'll double dip. I didn't get to see that crazy monster that he made in the basement.
Yeah.
The way I wanted to. I was imbibing and I was watching Looney Tunes. And
I have I thrown on an episode of Looney Tunes in the last 3 years? Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. Of course I have. Mm-hmm. Am I not American? Of course I have. Maybe some you're watching a niece or nephew or cousin or something, some little kid, and you're like, I know what you should watch. No, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. And you put on Looney Tunes where they're making references to Peter Lorre and stars of the 1930s. And you're like, and the kids are like, I don't like this at all because it's not totally random like Adventure Time.
Right. There's a little guy who's going, I got to get my waifu because I'm hunting Jimmy Carter's. Rabbits. And the kids are like, where's the booger head monster that came out of the turlet?
Where's the 40-year-old man that does YouTube videos with a little hat with a spinner on it that sings songs and is very weird?
40-year-old man, Kelly Clarkson.
I was told that we should be the next Danny Go. Now, if that means anything to you, I feel so sorry for you.
I don't know what that means, and I thank my heavenly stars above. He's looking it up.
I'm going to just so you get an idea. Now, this was meant in...
Landon's background is Dr. Disrespect.
This was meant as a compliment, and I take it. So for anyone listening that may feel,
if there's anyone that's making videos that gets 3 million views a video, and someone says you should be the next them, great.
Well, and this guy in particular just makes very catchy songs that kids listen to on repeat. And then parents have to sit through it as well.
I think I could get into that.
But for one, he looks like Conor Oberst.
Okay, so he's 45.
Yeah.
First winter like an earthworm. Digging in the dirt.
Okay, I could do this.
Now wiggle like confetti.
Huh?
You don't have to rhyme. You don't really have to be a song. You just do. It's crazy visuals. It's just him on a green screen doing wiggle like confetti falling
And
from the sky.
We could also have our like, you know, our post on Instagram could be kind of inspirational. Like you don't have to rhyme, you don't have to be a song.
Yeah, stuff like that. And because kids,
You can have a 5 o'clock shadow in your video for your.
kids don't care.
No,
Except for when you try to play Looney Tunes and they say turn it off, turn it off.
right.
It's too old. They can tell it's too old. They're like, I can hear them smoking.
They're like, why does it look like it's like a flip book that they're recording on a dusty camera?
All these character animations are just repeated. They can tell.
Hey.
Hey, I saw that tree in the background 18 different times while he's running.
That animation for the Kid in the Jungle Book is the same as Christopher Robin. They're just reusing the animation.
I can hear the scotch clinking in their glass.
But you know what? I got fruit salad yummy yummy stuck in my head at least twice a week. That doesn't rhyme.
I'm going to Blippy.
Fruit salad.
I'm going to Blippy.
You're going to Blippy.
Blippy's coming to town, and I found out that Blippy is a kids thing that kids like. But I've seen the toys at the store. Blippy is a man. Again, another 40-year-old man with a little yellow hat. It's Blippy. But then I saw the billboard. He's coming to the local
Yes, the local
arena.
Fuss about.
And Blippy, it's a cartoon on the billboard. And then I found out that Blippy, it's like Gallagher.
For kids?
Well, in that Gallagher like trained his brother to be Gallagher, and then
there's multiple
Blippies. Blippy is whoever you get that night. You're not seeing the Blippy. You're seeing some random guy.
That's a pretty
I'd be bummed.
Well, you go to see Blippy and it's the same guy that you just showed me a video of.
It really is. Yeah. These guys are freaks. I'm a little. Look, I get it. Whatever. You found your thing. But isn't it kind of weird?
I'm just saying everyone, especially Landon, is worried about the left and kind of what they're doing behind closed doors and in these pizza places across America. Meanwhile, you got Blippy coming to you. Blippy's coming to your town and you're buying tickets.
You're paying to see Blippy.
This is a different Blippy. Just scrolling through.
See?
It's kind of a doppelganger. I could be Blippy.
Yeah, actually, you kind of do look like.
I kind of look like Blippy.
Like, could be anywhere in your 20s to your 40s.
Yeah.
Definitely a sexual predator. I'm kidding. Come on. We're not holding back this year.
Orange glasses.
And
I'm not having sugar. So Blippy.
You're drinking a sugary drink.
We need to rewind the clock. Rewind the clock. Come on, kids. Rewind the clock. We're gonna be young forever. Age is just a number.
I don't know, man. You know, around the holidays, you go and you see what all the kids are up to, and you just feel bad. When I was a kid, I watched SpongeBob. Now you have to watch Blippy. You watch this Danny Go guy. You watch other kids. You watch videos of other kids opening toys on YouTube.
Or you watch middle-aged, this doctor, what did I just say? Dr. Disrespect or whatever. You just watch the guy that's like 50 play video games.
Yeah.
With like a wig on. Mm-hmm. This is someone I did a little bit of a deep dive into last night around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You just kind of like,
gotta
what's
go to
going
bed.
on here?
You got to try reading a book at bedtime.
I got about 3 pages. I read about 3 pages of book, and I said, "Well, I got to see what he looks like without the wig on." So I put the burger down.
Okay, now I know why you can't sleep.
Okay, I was a little bit hungry.
What's he look like?
Looks like a guy.
You had some other items that you wanted to address here at the start of the new year.
Well, somehow we kind of just slipped into the Looney Tunes one. I had what?
I have an interesting connection to Looney Tunes that I won't actually talk about on the show, but just remember that I say that, and then when you go see a movie that I'm going to talk about later, and you see something happen in the movie, you will remember that I said it here on this podcast that there's a connection to Looney Tunes, and when you see it, your jaw will drop.
Do you think that at the Oscars they'll do, for the intro thing, they'll do like an Avatar? It's like Tar with the
Yes, of course.
Accenta.
What? Wait a minute. What? What?
You know, with the that'd be Avatar.
Yes, of
the
course.
A with the S.
Any joke that you've seen on Twitter, they will do at the show. That's the problem with Twitter. You're giving away your material, comedy people.
You could be working on SNL.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people say I sound like this. Well, I do. You might notice I watched the new between last week's episode, which we never miss a week.
Yes, of course.
And this week. Hey.
Yeah. Because I had seen it, and I did a big run about how he acted like he knew Cecily.
Yep. Yeah, we're doing it again.
Yeah.
And now it's happening in mine. Huh? Go-gurt. That's something kids are missing out on, a big tuba gurt.
Have I ever talked about the one professor in college that the one professor in college, and looking back, she was not a professor. She was
an adjunct professor.
She was, what do you call them when they're like a year older than you, but they're teaching you?
Oh, TA?
Yeah. One of those, and I kind of accidentally turned the whole class against her. Did I ever tell that story?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll keep it short, but basically she assigned a short story that was about Tom and Jerry. This short story is basically Tom and Jerry. I think the author used different character names, but it's about Tom and Jerry, and they become aware that they're in a cartoon, and then they talk to the artist, and the artist like erases everything around them, and I think it's just Tom at the end, and he's like without purpose because he has no Jerry to chase and whatever.
What class was this?
Algebra. So I said, this happened in a cartoon.
I was just about to say to you.
She was like,
I've seen that episode.
It may have happened in Tom and Jerry. It for sure was an episode of Looney Tunes when Daffy Duck becomes aware of the artist, and the artist is erasing his body.
The brush or whatever.
Yes, he comes in and he erases his body, gives him like a crazy hair, like a pink.
So you couldn't just stand by and let her?
No, because
you had to stand up in class.
No.
This happened.
What happened was I never speak in class. I'm quietly smarter than everyone. That's the vibe I like to give off when I'm in college, and I still am. I'm very young. So I barely ever participated, but every once in a while I would, and no one was participating, and I held eye contact with her a little too long, so she said, did you have any thoughts about this? But she was conducting the discussion as if this were an original thought. I can't stand that. I can't stand by and let you think that this author came up with this idea, because in the 50s or 60s or whatever, whenever this episode of Daffy Duck happened, they were already doing it.
Yeah.
So I simply stated that. I said it just doesn't seem like an original idea, because it's commenting on something that already commented on itself. It's not really, there's no project here. There's no point to this piece. And she was like, oh, really? Blah, blah, blah. Everyone kind of then started piping up, saying, yeah, I agree. It's not original. They had no knowledge of Looney Tunes, I imagine, but
So you were above them as well.
oh, of course, I'm the smartest man alive. We know this.
Someone's like, I'm with him. You're like, sit down.
You know not of what you speak. But dude, help me overthrow this. No, but the joke's on me, of course, because she just had her first book published last year, 2 rave reviews, and by all accounts, it's a very good very good book, and I hope to check it out. I was gonna buy it just out of like quiet sort of support,
Quiet,
solidarity,
support,
and a quiet apology for that day that I accidentally mutinied her class. But I read the synopsis, and it was about. I can't really read a book that's about anything before like 1990. I don't really like stuff before modern times.
Yeah. Is it like I mean, how far are we talking? Like
It's
a
like
Jane Austen? Oh,
like 1800s
Yeah,
circus and
okay.
stuff. I'm like, I'm sure it's good. I'd love to support you. Maybe the next one will be
yeah. You could just comment, say, I've seen Carnival on HBO. I
Bobby
watched Carnival.
Carnival?
I've seen Barbary Carnivale.
God, you think they'll take that off?
I hope not.
Oh, anyway, this
Just Bobby Carnival.
so this ties into my point or my thing earlier. There's a certain movie that I saw that in some way notes that episode of Daffy Duck in a way that you can't even dream of. But
What
just
did you see?
that when you see it, you will see Daffy Duck in a pink outfit. You will remember that episode exists. You will remember that I told the teacher, and I hope that teacher out there saw
The Fablemans.
the movie Babylon
Okay.
and simply her jaw probably was already dropped by what was happening on screen for 3 full beautiful hours, and we'll get to that. But
And we'll get to that. It's true.
I just like to imagine that her jaw dropped when she saw Daffy Duck being erased.
She remembered.
And she said, "Oh, they do exist."
She remembered a young man 1 year younger than her.
Hair down to his butt crack.
She said, I wasn't getting paid to do this. It's my study hour.
Literally. I have to do more work to do this, but at least I get a dorm.
Yeah.
Look, the whole thing's, yeah, I feel bad. I didn't want to.
Well, you can't
I
let him
had
get
to.
away with that stuff. What
I
if she becomes a famous author and
Yeah.
thinks she can kind of just coast on these things that have already been told?
Yeah.
Tales hold us time.
Alex and Andrew Tate will do his time. Beauty and the Beast.
Tale as old as time. Andrew Tate will do his time. Beauty and the Beast.
Look, I have many cars. I don't know. This guy's crazy.
You guys have probably not heard of this in the news, but it's tax stuff. It's not the human
No.
trafficking.
Joey. No. I coerced women into falling in love with me and then moved them to Romania, where I stole their passports and made them do webcam girls for me.
And people like him.
The guys.
What are you fighting so hard for? There's nothing in this world I care about enough to. The second.
All of my favorite celebrities have fallen under the dirt as far as their reputation. I just quietly take it like a man.
I just hope I die before. I mean, no, I do.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
me
want to know
too.
what's going on with Tom Cruise, but
It will be an incredible thing to find out all of the people he killed.
I watched a 9-minute video the other day of him about his running.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome.
until someone can prove that he killed Shelly Miscavige, and now I think David Miscavige.
Yeah, we haven't seen him much either.
Until anyone can prove it, he's just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look, you gotta pay for those dirt bikes somehow. Yeah, I mean, each one is wrecked, right?
Yeah.
You're not saving those dirt
can't
bikes
save
as they go over the hill.
No, you drive it off the hill. The hill.
You drive it off the hill.
Capitol Hill.
Thehill.com.
But look, Tom Cruise, what's his crime? For actually believing in something?
For being the last movie star.
No,
My
honestly.
point is Scientology apparently works.
There's
There's something to the power of belief. The Secret, the book The Secret, everyone goes, it actually works.
Yeah.
But this man
believes Xenu's coming to get him.
and we know that obviously he has to do his clearing or whatever.
Of course, he must go clear.
So they have all of his secrets. He can't leave.
He can't leave,
He's trapped in a prison of his own making.
but
He's built a prison around himself with the lock on the outside.
it's almost like that Rice Krispie cage that you make me every year.
Yes, and I put you in there.
But he believes at this point, whether he wants to or not, he does. And it works. And
And they put him put him on a pedestal.
Yeah, I do too.
That's what I mean by they.
Look, I'm sure he's a freak. Of course he is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in anyone's mind. But no one else makes a movie like him. So I'll continue to support his behavior.
I can't wait to isolate this and put it in my morning smoothie.
Okay, well, you tell me what one of the top movies of all last year was, and tell me not everyone else feels the exact same way.
Actually, what happened when I Googled, I was looking for a specific movie.
Tom Cruise running.
I was looking for this stupid movie that was the new best movie of all time.
What is this? This is interesting.
Jean Dielman. Chantel Ackerman's Jean Dielman named greatest film of all time in Sight and Sound poll.
Right.
It's like a 4-hour. Who cares, right? What is this poll?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just looked up.
Not the first time Joey's heard that. What is this poll?
So when I just Google best movies of all time, the first thing that comes up is the poster for Scary Movie, and next to Indiana Jones.
You know what?
And the Temple of Doom, which is the weirdest choice. And they're not wrong about
Yeah,
either.
so far I don't disagree though. You know,
It's just like that's the most popular movie of 2000 was Scary Movie. Indiana Jones 84. So that's what I had to see today.
That's
so that
interesting.
kind of set my mood.
what else did you want to? I keep interrupting you with my incredible stories.
Should we do a quick scam call talk?
Sure.
That I had with someone.
Sure.
You be gray and I'll be green.
Thank God. Yes. Whoa, there's a lady in here.
Yep.
Okay, you hold it.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me take my new Stanley sippy cup off the table.
I got someone that texted me the other day, and by the other day I say November 25th.
Wow.
They must have known
Whoa.
it was a special day, but
A month before Christmas.
yep.
Okay. Hey.
Hello. Who is this? And I want to say I said that because usually they start with, hello, my dear. Did you find out if Stan is coming to your bat mitzvah?
Yes.
And you know. But when I just get a hey,
Stan
and it's
would
on
never.
it's on the week, or it's on, sorry, the month before Christmas.
Yes.
You go, maybe they're trying to text me to say,
Right. Like maybe this was someone, they got a new phone.
yes, happy month before Christmas Day.
Happy month before Christmas Day. Okay, so hey.
I say, hello, who is this?
Then I send a picture of a beautiful woman by the pool looking out onto a beautiful pool at like a night or a hotel.
Kind of inquisitively.
Yes, like I'm more than just a beautiful lady. Hi, I'm Bonnie, sorting out the address book.
Oh, nice. Oh, yes, Bonnie. Sorry, I forgot since you're in my phone as Little Nub Nub from that one night in Houston, LOL.
Are you Mike?
Yes. you were, quote, Little Nub Nub, and I was, quote, Mike Arachnid.
Okay. Can I see your photo?
So I sent a picture. I sent a picture of Grimace playing golf, a real life Grimace playing golf.
You are so cute. Goodbye. Maybe I misunderstood the number and got your number.
Oh, okay. I will be sad to see you go. I love you, dear.
Are you an adult?
Yes, and frankly, a pretty big one at that.
My name is Bonnie, 30 years old, single, originally from Belarus, currently doing business in San Francisco. What about you?
My real name is Marvden. I can be single at the drop of a hat if need be. My family grew up in the archipelago of kisses, but I now work as a patent theft out of my houseboat in Transylvania.
Pirates of the Caribbean. What the hell? Pirates of the Caribbean, LOL.
Haha, wow. You actually might be the funniest person I've ever met since you said that. You even give Greg Grunderson from Dunkin' Donuts HQ a run for his money, and he's a funny dude. One time he gave Eric such a verbal wedgie that he said, "I don't want to live anymore," and jumped out of the 16th story window. Haha. That was the last I heard from.
Hello.
And then a couple of days later, I said hello because I never got a response. Yeah. So,
God, that's funny.
I thought we could keep it going for a while, but all good things must come to an end.
That's kind of like the year 2022, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Should all acquaintance be forgot? What does that mean? Should all acquaintance?
I think old. Should old.
But what does that mean? I have old acquaintances.
Well, it's that old saying of what is that saying?
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
Be forgot. And never brought to mind for I can't remember any of the words, my dear boy.
Oh, the words "auld lang syne" literally mean "old long since."
So it doesn't make any sense. Old long since?
In practice, it means old times, especially times fondly remembered. It's from the Scots language.
It's just kind of...
There once was a man from Sailor Sea, went from the town of Ballyoe, sent them down to timber and team below my bully boy blow.
I was watching... I caught the tail end of the the CNN broadcast of the New Year's Eve night.
Yeah.
Where... wait, no, it wasn't the CNN. It was the Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve.
Hey, don't say that too fast. You might get some of the words mixed up. Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve. Well, you get some of the. Well, basically, what I'm trying to say is like something I can't say on the podcast.
And at the end, they turn it over. Ryan Seacrest turns over to Billy Porter in New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints logo comes. What's that thing? I don't know anything.
The New Orleans, like the football team?
Yeah, but it's like the little flower that's like. I don't think it's just for the football team. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never been. There's too many naked ladies in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I get scared.
And they have that cake with the little baby in it. They say, "Don't choke." Landon.
Joey's been going to too many of these pizza parties.
So now that you haven't heard this cake with the little baby in it. Now I sound crazy. This is what happens when people they say this is like when people know about the 5G connection to COVID, and I'm trying to explain it to a simpleton.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to explain it to me. I've been freaking stuck to my locker ever since I got the vaccine.
Just look up New Orleans
Magnetic.
eating babies.
New Orleans eating babies. Well, here's the problem. Who's the mascot for Easter? Easter Bunny. Who's the mascot?
I thought it was the Philly.
Yeah, the
Philly fanatic.
Yeah. Well, it's him eating the Easter Bunny. Mm-hmm. Santa Claus for Christmas.
Santa Claus for Christmas.
Who's the freaking?
We're doing Cupid now.
Who's the emblem of who's the symbol of the new year?
Baby New Year.
A naked little baby. What are we doing?
You're sick. You're sick.
This town needs an enema, and I'm gonna give it to him. That's sick.
Yeah.
Everyone's sick. Everyone's so gross.
Jack is sick. The New Year's sick. Now tell us about this picture of a flower you can't stop talking about.
Well, it goes down, and then for some, they start playing Auld Lang Syne, and Billy Porter is. They won't cut away. They won't cut back to Ryan Seacrest in New York. Billy Porter is just singing Auld Lang Syne for. It felt like 5 or 6 minutes. They just kept showing people sweeping back to him. And at no point did they tell him, you don't have to keep singing it. Like, I'm sure they were telling him, keep going, keep going. We can't go back to New York. Ryan's drunk and dead right now or whatever. But then finally he sings, Billy Porter sings Auld Lang Syne, and he finally goes, I wish I knew the words. Because he was singing it wrong the whole time. It was just funny. Well, anyway. So I had a great New Year's Eve.
It's Christmas.
What?
So I'm glad you had a good New Year's Eve. I was waiting for that ball to drop, But I was watching something.
I know.
And then we checked the clock and said, oh, it's midnight. Like, I kept looking up until that point, and then basically what happened is one of the Audis had something happen to them. And
all right, let's get to it. What'd you watch, buddy?
Do I talk about I watch more Christmas stuff. Is it too late to talk about?
No. We can do
I won't talk about all of them. Christmas Vacation, perfect, okay?
Funniest movie.
Yeah, ever. But I watched, what are the two new? Oh, I watched the Santa Clauses, the new series, the Tim Allen
The full series?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Really?
It's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw all the trailers and promotional material that I saw made me have the ick, as the kids are saying.
It was something I put on when I had to go kind of put myself in a room in kind of this, like, I was testing out these walls that were made of it's like Rice Krispie stuff.
What?
But I was like testing out this like Rice Krispie sort of house that I was making.
Yes, and you watched the show?
And I had, so I was in there and I had to make sure. So I was in there and I used that little room to wrap gifts. So I said, I have to sit in here and wrap all this bullshit. So I have to put something on, okay? So I put on the Santa Clauses and I kept watching. Tim Allen's funny.
Couldn't tear your eyes. That's the problem, isn't it?
He's funny.
Every time I want to hate the guy.
And then I remember Last Man Standing, all this stuff, and I probably voted for you-know-who, Biden.
Yeah.
But there's like one scene where they have to go back to human land, Earth, America. Sure. I don't know where the North Pole is. But he's packing and he's like, do you think this stuff, he's like, he pulls out a sweater and shows his wife. He's like, I don't know if this stuff is going to fly down like back home. And it's a sweater that says, sit on me and tell me what you want. And she's like, I don't think you should have been wearing that up here. And he looks at it and he's like, yeah. There's just
that's funny.
Some pretty funny jokes in there.
I've just heard that there was also a lot of forced, anti-woke stuff.
So did I, but it happens kind of twice, but they're jokes.
Yeah.
Like I heard about the War on Christmas one, but it just kind of comes up as a joke.
Yeah.
Because someone tries to shoot them out of the sky.
Well, that's the issue.
And he's like, I heard there's a war on Christmas, but this is ridiculous or something.
Yeah. So it's not that big of a deal. For one, it's Disney, who's not going to suffer any money loss by doing too much conservative humor.
Well, and they also do a joke where the elves come out to sing Santa a song.
Oh.
It's like a parody song. I can't remember, but it's like about elves instead of whatever it's usually about. Nicki Minaj's butt or whatever.
Yes.
But all the elves come out and they spell out with these little signs, I love Santa.
Oh, I saw a
have you
clip
seen
of
it?
this.
Yeah. And two of the so I'm like, so it says I love Satan.
Yeah.
And he's like, spelling. And I'm like, well, if you're that worried about the other stuff, I think that also proves that it's not like if they were that focused on some sort of weird conservative angle,
Yeah.
they wouldn't do a joke like "I love Satan."
The only reason I saw a clip of that was because I saw on
A guy on TikTok that was mad about it.
yeah, well, I think it was for like the account Christian Nightmares or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone on TikTok was like, I can't believe they just said it out loud. They really just did this. And it's like, it's obviously a joke.
They're like, they usually hide these messages
Yeah.
and stuff. Well, and then when I saw that clip, I was like, okay, so it is funny.
It's just a comedy show.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I'll check it out because I do love the Santa Claus.
Yeah. I don't remember the third one that much, but they make fun of it. They make fun of, I think Tim Allen thinks, and I watched an interview with him, was that he's like, there was all these plot holes I didn't ever understand. He's like, why aren't the other elves sad that Santa died?
Right.
He's like, is there a Mrs. Claus? So
Yeah.
they kind of they just have fun with it.
That kind of sounds good. Now, why aren't the elves? They are
Wise men, elves.
They're played by children, but they're supposed to be hundreds of years old. Correct?
Yeah.
Why can't they spell?
Well, there is going to be a season 2, so I think that's going to probably be addressed. It's good. It was 6 episodes, and I said, I don't want this to end.
Wow.
It kind of reminds you of the first movie.
Okay.
And it's weird because he kind of looks the same, but then you go, oh, he's 70. He's like, I forget how long ago the first one came out, but you get to see some Charlie in there.
Yeah. All right. I'll check it out.
Check it out.
I did see Paul Scheer, the comedy guy,
The Comedy King.
was going through some Tim Allen TikTok replies. Just go find them. It's just funny because it's obviously he didn't actually, like, people were asking questions. It's like, hey, Tim, I've loved the Santa Claus for forever, and you made me, like, whatever, you saved my life by making such a funny movie. And he's like, hey, look at you. You love Christmas. Thanks a lot. And it's just, there's so many of them, and they're all like very personal. Like, what do you think would be funny? He's like, now that's a good question. I'll have to talk to Santa. Just like so obvious that he was in a studio for like 30 minutes and just rattled off a few generic answers.
And then they just posted them
as replies to real people.
That's Tim for you. I've always said that.
Yeah.
But I would give it 7.5 out of 10. There's still kind of this thorough, and I will have to talk to you about some of this privately.
Okay.
But some of the overall story arc is like, I just want to see more Tim, baby.
Wow.
I want to see more Tim just kind of making little asides that he seems to be annoyed with stuff.
That's what's funny. When we rewatched The Santa Claus a couple years ago, I hadn't seen it for such a long time. So many things that he says are just so funny. When he says that something about Judge Reinhold's head coming to a point or something, I literally laughed out loud for 5 minutes. It's just so funny the way he says it.
There's some other stuff you just gotta watch it because there is like I'm just like, did he write these things or did he just come up? There's just things he must have come up with.
Got to. And of course, problematic though he might be, can't we just sit down and enjoy a little Christmas show? All right, so you like that. What else you watch?
Deck the Halls. Speaking of Paul Scheer, I saw that I watched Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito.
Yes.
And Matthew Broderick. Then like 2 days later, I saw How Did This Get Made reposted an old episode they did.
Very funny episode.
Said, perfect. Because I also hated this movie.
Very funny episode. Never saw the movie, but I do remember the episode of How Did This Get Made fondly.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Better than the movie. Movie is weird. Very uncomfortable. Then I watched one that you, I think, had brought up. The Night Before.
That is a classic in our home that we have to watch every single year. We didn't watch it this year, though. But I know it like the back of my foot.
That's kind of like The Grinch. I didn't watch it this year, but I love it. As I get older, these years are going by fast. I'm like, I just watch this thing.
I know.
I can't do it every year. I don't want to hate it.
I know.
I want to laugh when he says, "This isn't pudding." And he puts it in his mouth and he says, "Well, what is it?" Yeah. So I watched Night Before. I'd never seen it before.
Oh, you never did?
Mm-mm. Never got around to it.
Well,
I forget. Here's another guy that I forget is funny. It's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, hilarious.
Just because there's so many mainstream movies and you go,
yeah, you kind of get sick of these people, but then you watch them and you're like, oh yeah, you are.
He's just funny the entire movie. Yeah. It's one of the funniest Christmas movies, certainly. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy, crazy movie.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So that's going to be on the rotation now. Yes. That's just a funny movie.
It's hilarious.
It makes you wish they still made stuff like that and it didn't even come out that long ago.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, how could this idea be in a theater with some of the things that happen?
And yes, some of the things that happen are crazy, but it also, there are a couple parts where a tear wells up in my eye. Mm-hmm. And it's that perfect little combination of, because I think it's the 51st
anniversary of the Night Before.
The 50-50 writer-director, I believe. At least the same director. I don't know if he wrote it, but
I think so. The movie had like 4 writers, so.
Oh, okay.
It's like Evan Goldberg.
Oh, right,
the 50-50 guy. Oh.
So, you get that special little funny and sentimental thing. And you love these guys.
I want to see. He also directed The Long Shot with.
It's great.
That's what I keep hearing. Yeah, and I thought to myself, why would I watch this movie?
No, it's
only
hilarious.
Because I hear everyone, including my best friend, Landon, say it's great.
It's great.
And so now it's going to be put on my Christmas rotation. The Long Shot.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. And you might have a little how did this get made connection in that movie as well. Okay, so what else? We'll go a little long today, folks.
Gosh,
we have to. We have to.
What else? Anything? Oh. Well, I bring it up, but did you watch This Place Rules?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty great.
I put it on about 5 minutes in after the woman with whom which I live keeps getting flabbergasted at what's happening on screen.
Yeah.
I said, hey, we've just started. We can't keep stuff. We can't comment on all these people. There's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to upset.
Well, the first 5 minutes are completely unrelated.
Yeah.
And I was thinking...
It does tie it together.
Yes. But at the end of the movie, I was like, do I recommend this to my dad? And I think he would be so incensed by the first guy. Yeah. For like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I don't know if he would even give it a chance.
I almost sent it to my mom as we were watching it, just to say, like, you have to see this.
Yeah.
But it is when the first thing comes on. I get his point is almost that even these people think that what happened that day is idiotic.
Yeah.
Like, look at how these people act.
Yes.
And listen to what they're saying about this.
Right.
But you're just thrown into it. And if you don't know his work,
right,
or what the overall...
Going in blind, you just have to get through that first part. I mean, I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
but
I'm fine with it. But if you don't know what you're going into...
Yeah. But it's great. Incredible work by the little furry-headed man.
We salute the little furry-headed man and all that he does.
Fuzzball.
We hope that it's not the last time that we get to see him on the big screen.
No.
Usually I have to watch him on my tiny iPod Touch. And then, of course, Landon, I would be severed to say that I didn't watch.
I don't understand what you mean.
I don't either.
Are you
What's the
talking
show
about
Severance.
Yeah, Severance?
Did you start it and end it?
Within 2 days.
Yes. Boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka,
You can't
chicka,
stop
boom.
watching
Boom,
once you
chicka, chicka,
start.
boom.
You can't stop watching once you start.
And I knew I was gonna like it.
I know. Well, strangely, we were like, we need a show. We need a show. It's the weekend. It's
All right,
the long
everyone.
weekend.
Landon's given his opinion. That's when the coat goes on.
It's the weekend. It's the weekend. You go. I need a show. I need a show. And we both kind of realized at the same time, we never watched Severance. And then we immediately turned it on. And it's incredible. It's everything that everyone said.
Yep.
The only issue I have is that I want more, honey.
That's the
I
problem. We
need more
watched
right
it too
now.
fast.
I need more right now. Then we started another show, Blackbird, on Apple TV Plus, which is also pretty good. We haven't finished it yet, but just the whole time, every 5 or 10 minutes, we look at each other and be like, I want to watch Severance. I want to watch it.
Severance.
It's not. There's nothing like it.
It's not, and it's gonna be like another year.
Yeah, we immediately looked it up and said, when can we watch part 2?
I saw Ben Stiller telling someone to calm down.
But we need it now. We need it immediately. They did something wrong by ending on such a cliffhanger. That's not right.
That's not right because every season should at least have some.
You need a resolution, a denouement for your season. But TV isn't like it used to be.
Unless they knew, but they don't know. That's
They
the
don't
thing.
know. What if no one watched it?
If no one watched it, that's all you get. And that's some. I mean, it is a very strange sort of Vonnegutian sci-fi. Is it the future? Is it the past? Look at their technology. It's a world that is split from our own in a way that is so different yet so similar.
Every single aspect of the show scratched all of my itches.
Your rash is so big.
Let me show you. Let me show you something.
Stylistically,
stylistically.
that when they go between innie and outie, and I can tell it's just all in camera.
Yeah.
No one's done that before. Stupid.
Just some simple tricks. It's all in the 3 locations.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep watching. You say, I don't even care that I have a headache because of how
good your TV is.
because of how good my TV is and how bright the white rooms at Lumen are.
And Adam Scott playing a broken man.
He's great.
He plays the same character 2 different ways.
That's
perfectly. It's like watching 2 different performances in one show.
And everyone does.
Yeah.
Except there's only one person in the show that I kind of think actually isn't a good actor.
Uh-oh.
It's what's her name? Patricia Arquette. She's making choices that I haven't really seen her in anything else recently, so I don't know if it's just this show or if she always acts bad.
I don't want to I almost gave something away, which I don't want to do. I want everyone to go on the same journey I had.
Yes.
But she's doing a weird thing with her voice in, let's say, half of her character.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? Did she think I need to do this? This will
I don't know.
set them apart. There's just a weird, he doesn't know you.
There's so many loose threads that I can't wait to see tie up.
And I hope they do tie them up. I don't want to be lifted up only to be let down.
Here's what's going to annoy me, but I know that it's going to happen, so I've already accepted it. Season 2 will start as if nothing happened. It's going to annoy me, but it's going to be how you're going to just ding, the elevator opens and Adam Scott walks in as if nothing happened. Of course, he'll learn, wait a minute, something's not quite right, blah, blah, blah. But that's how I imagine they'll start season 2.
So you don't think it's gonna be it's not gonna pick up right at the
I hope it does.
Shking.
I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope
it does. I hope it does. We all love Severance.
But so many
Mr. Scott.
cliffhangers like that. Mm-hmm. It always seems like the next season is like starts later on down the road, and then we have to put the pieces back together a little bit, and you're like,
Yeah.
come on, I want to get to it.
Well, because you got 15 writers in a room and they're like, that's what they're expecting is to pick up right where the Big Bang left off.
Yeah.
This is not your average Big Bang.
This is...
And you see the elevators ding, but the elevator doors ding. You think outside Adam Scott. Innie?
I just, in my head, I'm envisioning the opening of season 2. Ding.
Yeah.
And
we can't even talk about this because everything I want to say is...
I know. The innie walks in and sits down. Maybe someone's not there that should be.
Just watch it. If you don't have Apple TV, I'll figure out a way to give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I'm going to give it to you. Isolate this. I'm going to give
it to you also. We'll both give it to you.
We'll both give. How's that sound?
And then
If you want it,
your loved ones can watch as well.
If you want it mostly and your loved ones are around, they're going to have to watch us give it to you.
Okay, so I give Severance, a 9?
Yeah.
You have to take 1 point away just for me personally because it made me mad that I couldn't watch more. You've made it too compelling of a show, my dear people.
And it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It is so good.
Everything, every little weird thing, and it all comes together. And here's what I like about it too.
Say.
They're not feeding us this, they're not doing little flashbacks to remember when he took a picture. No. They're just like, hey, keep up. Everything is happening for a reason.
It sure seems like it, at least for this first season. I hope to God they had it all mapped out. Joey, please tell me they do.
I hope they do, so it can be like that show 1899 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it can be canceled. And they can say, we would have loved to have a third season to wrap it all up like we planned, but that's for the birds.
Try both. Yeah, that's too bad about that.
Yeah, watched it too quick, but what am I supposed to do? It's all I could think about.
Yeah, same. But so then we started Blackbird. This is. Have you seen anything about that?
Nope.
This is my big problem with stuff like this. There are too many shows now that you get some incredible performances. That guy, what's his name? Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah.
Who played Richard Jewell in that movie? Richard Jewell. He's a great character actor. He plays maybe he's a serial killer, maybe he's not. But he's doing a voice like this. And you're like, God, what an unsettling. And he's so good. And the main guy's pretty good. Greg Kinnear's in it. He's good. And then everyone else kind of sucks. And you're just like, it really is, though, that there's just too many things filming. They can't get good people for everything.
Well, this is the fact that I haven't heard about this. I probably have.
It's Taron Egerton is a criminal, and he gets transferred to a really hard prison to get a confession out of the serial killer guy.
When I went to see Eddie the Eagle and Taron and Hugh Jackman were 3 feet away from me, I asked him about this.
You did?
I said, you got anything else coming up the pipeline? And this was about 8 years ago at this point. Blow my head off. And he said...
In a video game.
Yes. Blow my head off in a video game.
Yeah.
And he says to me, hey, mate, you're just going to have to watch it. You're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And I said, bravo? And he winked at me.
Wow.
And I think it means his performance deserves a bravo.
Yeah, he's not great in this.
Yeah, he's
but
not great in most things.
I don't know. It's like I wanted to see that Elton John movie. It seemed
I
like he
saw
was
that.
good. Was he good? Yeah,
fine.
maybe he's not good.
I mean, he's
don't know.
like, hey, man.
Yeah.
And then, like, he does cocaine. He's like, hey, man. So, I don't know. I might have been able to do it. Give me a little of that tooth wax. Give me a little gap between the teeth.
Whee!
Rocket Man.
Rubbing down to sing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really you watch it for the Paul Walter Hauser guy.
So, Blackbird. I
pretty good.
think I've heard of this.
Here's the other thing, too.
I'm going to say I have.
6 episodes, limited series. You know it has a beginning, middle, and end. That's what we were looking for. But, of course, the whole time we're looking at each other saying, I just want to watch Severance. Just come one little episode. Just give me one more.
Yeah. Give us a little holiday episode.
Do like Mythic Quest where they just like randomly put episodes out. And you're like, what? There's 3 seasons?
And they're going to have a 4th season?
I gave up after they went back to the past. The first season, they do one that's in like 1970. You're like, okay, I get it. You're showing off. Mm-hmm. The second season, they do it again. I stopped watching. I'm not interested. Show me the comedy show that I'm watching. I don't need a little art piece for 30 minutes of the guys founding the company in the 70s. Don't do that.
You don't need...
I don't need it.
When everyone's like, he wants to make a bigger dragon. And then the next episode is like 2 people meeting in a video game store, and then you see that he's looking over her grave.
Yeah,
and then
it's
you
like,
go-
I don't, like, I get it.
Existential crisis in the middle of your...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What if we told a really compelling love story for 30 minutes and then went back to the show? Just do the show. Do the show. Anyway, got anything else?
Rob's busy.
Because I'm literally riding a high so huge. I feel like I did what'd you call it? Tooth wax?
I don't know. So I did restart Party Down because I just needed a little more. It's almost like watching Severance.
Yeah.
Because there's a familiar skinny little face in there.
Yeah.
And I'm just, did you ever watch that?
Are we having fun yet?
Yeah. Did you ever watch that? No. 2 seasons of it?
I've seen it, yes.
It's funny.
It's funny.
I think it's funnier this time.
Probably.
I think I've grown up a little, so my vocabulary is a little bit more big.
They go to the Adult Film Awards and you say, well, now I can't watch this with my family.
Well, that's why I'm watching it in my room.
Yeah,
I'm saying I'm sick today. I gotta stay in my room. Don't come in. And it's got like Arrested Development music.
Yeah. Is that why the Rice Krispies are extra sticky?
Landon, anything you want to say as we go into the new year? But first,
have one more film that I have to talk about.
This is what you want to say going into the new year.
Yes. I'm dying to talk about it.
Oh. Babylon.
Yes. I saw Babylon, Joey.
You liked it. Everyone hates it.
Everyone hates it. I will say that this is crazy, but it might be one of my favorite movies of the decade.
I want to see it so bad.
I don't know. I can't even. After I watched it, I just sat and watched the credits. The 4 other like middle-aged women that were seeing it for their book club, I think. Even though it's not really based on a book. I don't know.
Maybe it's a film club.
Look, I only say book club because they showed the trailer for book club Next Chapter.
Oh, no.
Before the movie.
And they all held up their copy of book club Next Chapter.
Jane Fonda and a bunch of old bags in a movie. But then 2 trailers later, they show 80 for Brady. Another Jane Fonda and 3 other old bags go to the Super Bowl. She's in the same year. She has 2 movies where she's with her group of old ladies. Look, I'll be seeing both of them. We watched the first book club and it was delightful. So we will be seeing these movies, but it's just crazy that you have 2 of them in the same year. It's the exact same movie.
Well, that's kind of like the Morgan Freeman, like Robert De Niro. I feel like there was a year where it was like 4 old guys where they're like, we're going to do one more game of hockey or whatever. And then
bucket
one's
list.
just them going to Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to get them in while you're still around.
I guess. Well, anyway, so then the movie starts. Within the first 2 minutes, some of the grossest things I've ever seen on film happen.
That's not real Hollywood.
The movie is 3 hours long. I wished it was 4. That's all you need to know. Margot Robbie, if you didn't like her before, you will now. I don't know why you wouldn't have liked her before, but she's incredible. The main guy, Diego Calva, he's incredible. Brad Pitt, of course, is great.
I like these movies like this. I know people say I'm sick of this, whatever, old Hollywood stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of am too, but
If it's good, I'm not.
here's what I'll say.
If it's good, I'm not.
Here's what I'll say.
Say it.
None of what you're seeing in this movie is necessarily new. It's not necessarily a new insight into anything. We know the stories. We know it was debaucherous. Everyone was partying and stuff. We know the transition from talkies into, or from the silent era into the talkies. We know it was a troubling time for all.
Yes, we all saw The Artist in theaters and couldn't move a muscle.
But this is the best and most compelling version of any of that I've ever seen. That's the true magic. The camera moves throughout. Here's something else. I laughed out loud.
You're crazy.
I saw it alone with 4 other ladies and then I think a couple in front of me that didn't really talk the whole time or anything.
They didn't like it.
The 4 ladies, responsive to everything.
Yeah.
It was great. But these 2. But there's one scene in particular where literally everyone was dying laughing. And it's just kind of funny because usually when they say like a movie like this is funny, it's like the smart person kind of funny where it's not funny. It's like, isn't it interesting? Like a New Yorker comic or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's not funny. That's not actually funny. But this movie is actually funny. There's slapstick. People are falling over and crap. There's just the camera moves through the parties and stuff that's in such a way that you say, God, so many people made this movie happen. And it's incredible.
And then some people are just like, it's fine. I'm not even going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary, of course. It is a subjective art form, but and the ending did leave me. There's a part at the end where you're like, what? If you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier. But there's a choice that is made by the director, who I believe just had carte blanche to do whatever he wanted.
This is Chazelle, of course.
Yes.
I like everything he's done.
Yeah. I think this is a perfect sort of amalgam of all of his best things that he does. Some scenes are tense. Some scenes are funny. Some scenes are musical. The score is incredible. It's just blasting you in the face for 3 hours and you just take it in. You just love it.
Yeah, I got to see this.
I would recommend anyone see it. It's so good.
I'm going to have to see it by myself. There's differing opinions in our household. When the trailer ended, I was ecstatic. Person next to me was not.
Yeah.
We parted ways. Never the twain shall meet.
Yeah. Yeah, I told the person with whom I live all of the things that I thought would get her intrigued by it, and mainly the 3 hour.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. But when you're sitting there and you're just in it, and you're like,
that's the other thing. I'll go by myself. It's 3 hours. Just let me
what else am I doing?
Let me marinate in this.
And you will too.
Oh. The heated seats.
Oh, and some people are like, because it does start on a pretty gross note.
Oh, nasty.
But that's on purpose.
Okay.
That's on purpose.
When people make movies, I learned this last year.
Yeah.
Going into this year, I want to remember this. The stuff that they do, like that they put in the script and put on screen,
Yeah.
it usually has like a reason.
Yeah. Usually.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say I don't know necessarily what Damien Chazelle is ever saying.
No, he's just showing stuff. I mean,
But he's a great technician. It's musical. It's incredible. It's incredible to witness. It's spectacle in the highest level, but artistically done. It's not spectacle in the Avatar way.
even with First Man, he's following
I gotta see it.
what is arguably maybe one of the boringest American heroes. Neil Armstrong, who just did his job.
Yeah,
Like he went to training and it's still intense and it's like crazy and you're going to throw up half the movie because it's spinning all over the place. And you're like, is he going to die? And I know in my head that he does.
Yeah.
I know that he blew up on the moon.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah.
But even that, everything just looks great. And it's just kind of, it's not like a Hidden Figures. There's no like overarching like this was the first. I mean, it's like he did step on the moon first, I guess, if you want to believe that story.
Yeah. Well,
But that's that's a great movie.
yeah, I gotta see that. But the guy, he's good. He has a vision. That's I like to see that. And no, it is saying something, but it's not, like I said, it's not necessarily an original sort of insight. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of showing things that we've all kind of seen or read about or heard before. But
Fine.
it's the best that I've ever seen it done. It is. And I think people are everyone's a little, like you're talking about the night before, they're doing things that are crazy.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't really do nowadays.
Yeah.
And it was only 3 or 4 years ago or whatever, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people being like, it's just, they're doing too much in this movie. I think everyone's just a little too coddled. Everyone's a little too scared to see stuff now.
Yeah.
I was just happy to see someone go for it. You know?
Do it. It's 3 hours. What do I care? That's what I want to see. I want to see a big freaking Hollywood pick. Okay? Mm-hmm. I do. I don't want a you pick 2. I want a Hollywood pick 2. What's up?
I was just remembered You Pick Live on Nickelodeon. Candace and the guy with the glasses and Pickman. Remember? Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.